Hey everybody, Bandicoot Commando here, and welcome back to Infamous 2. Last time.
Plus one. Go on last time.
Last time, we beat the game again. We got the evil karma ending, and yeah. So today, I'm just gonna really talk a little bit of the game's development. Well, there's really not much to share in regards of development, but I'm gonna show the additional stuff and all that little things. So
With a special guest appearance of Dad.
no, because you're stepping out right now.
Exactly. That's how special it was.
All right. Okay, after Dad stepping in like that. First off, let me start with part of the development thing. Like I said, there's really not much to go on with development, but what I can say is this. Some of Cole's powers in this game, specifically the kinetic pulse and I believe the ionic vortex, they were originally considered for the first game. Lots of Cole's powers and some of the variations of the bolts and whatnot were considered for this game, but unfortunately, they had to either just be cut for time or they just couldn't get it to work properly. It just depends on the context. Oh yeah, another thing I meant to a little thing I'll say with if you're doing all the evil stuff and you go about, doing the evil karma moments, killing the police, killing the musicians, killing protesters, stuff like that. Nyx, once you meet Nyx and complete that mission, she will chime in with what you do. Like, she'll say stuff like, I like your style, or the world would be a better place with people like you, and a bunch of other similar stuff like that. The other and more important one has to regard to the ending of the game, the evil ending. Nate Fox, one of the producers of this game and been at Sucker Punch for quite a while, Nate Fox went on to say that, much like in the previous game, he tried and he pushed to have the evil karma ending be the canon ending to Infamous 2, much like how the first game was supposed to have that as well. But unfortunately, more like fortunately, but still, unfortunately, playtesters just kept getting the good ending, obviously, and really, the canon had to be changed accordingly. But it's because of that, though. Had the evil ending in this game be canon, like they intended, things would have been different. Who knows? Maybe Infamous First Son would have not even happened. It might have not even happened. Maybe it would have, but with a different premise. Who knows? Who knows is all I can say. And the same goes to, it would have just been different. Now, let's get on to the real main highlight, the DLC items. A lot of this stuff is also pre-order bonus, but for the most part, it's strictly DLC you have to buy. You have skins for both Cole and for your amp. This is the default skin. So we're going to start with the skins. Oh, that's... Okay, here we go. Are you sure you want to... Yeah. Every time you change the skin for either Cole or the amp, it will... Yeah, it will always reload your game. So this is Cole's appearance, partially from the previous game, just updated a bit. It looks like they even kept part of his face model to resemble as such. I'll change it over to good Cole, so let's load. No. Don't mind that date. Let's load our good karma and see what good Cole looks like. Is it... I'm going to have to switch it. Alright, so let's see. Classic Cole. Hey, there's the Cole we all know and love. Yeah, missed this jacket outfit, this bike carrier outfit. I should say, Cole was somewhat wearing this outfit at the beginning of the game. Sort of. Not exactly. Alright, next skin. So soon, Kessler. Okay, yep. Oh my goodness. Yep, we are Kessler. Wow, they really went well with the trench coat, because they even have like his, well, they sort of have the coattails animated pretty well. Okay, I don't think if you switch it to Evil Cole, I don't think it changes Kessler's appearance. It'll change the color of the electricity and the amp, but that's about it, really. Reaper. Yep, this is basically Cole if he was dressed as a Reaper, as part of the Reapers of the previous game. Much like with Kessler, I think Karma rank doesn't matter with its overall appearance. I think all it'll do is just the color of your electricity and the amp. These skins were used as Cole's alternate skins for PlayStation All-Stars. Oh, there's the big spoiler bits here. Now let's change the amp. Well, first, let's put it back to normal. I'm going to put it back to normal, and then I'm going to switch. I don't know if you can have a different skin and amp equipped at once. I doubt it. But I just wanted to do that just in case. So, the solid gold amp. This skin for the amp, I think was actually a pre-order bonus. Oh, look at that. Solid gold, baby. Oh, now I want to test this on enemies. If I can, like... Yeah, I still have my tether equipped. Oh, come on. Come on, give me something. Give me enemies to show up. Anything, please. I really want to test this out on enemies. Alright, fine, be that way. Next, the samurai sword. It's exactly what it is. It's a samurai sword. Oh, that's a cool glowy effect to it. I love it. It makes me feel like... Oh, makes me feel like Ryoma from Fire Emblem Fates. It's always cool to have an electrifying sword of some kind. I mean, really, it's just, you know, it's a reference to how, you know, swords are cool. Heroes tend to use swords in stories, most of them. And katanas are cool and very dangerous blades. One thing I will point out about this katana right now. This katana is not, and I'm going to emphasize on the not bit, but this katana is not a reference to the Ghost of Tsushima in any way. This katana is not meant to be a reference to that. At the time when Infamous 2 was made and released, Sucker Punch did not even consider the idea of the Ghost of Tsushima. They would not even come up with the idea until they got done with Infamous First Son. Or Second Son. I've been calling it First Son, but it's second son. So, with that, the katana is just, well, retroactively speaking, you can consider it a reference to the Ghost of Tsushima, but it's really not meant to be because, like I said, it was not even in development or anything at the time. But when you look back at it, maybe they had the right idea. Maybe they were onto something. They just didn't realize it yet. Won't it take them another 10 years until they made that realization? By the way, the katana and the other weapons I'm going to show off, really. I mean, just look. That might hurt the hostage. Yep, and... Ah.
Now is a job well done.
I mean, really, one of Cole's, you know, ultra combo finishers, you know how it involves him, like, hooking the amp between the person's neck and then flinging them? With the katana, I believe that is either disabled, for obvious reasons. I mean, it wouldn't be gory in the first place, but I believe that is disabled. But if it's not disabled, then yeah, the katana just clips through the body, but it's treated as if it's hooking on to the enemy. Alright, that's enough of sword, though. Next we have... Yep. You're reading this right. Next we have the one and only... The one and only Cooper Kane. Not just Cooper Kane, but Sly Cooper's Kane. And it's so great to be using this because this year alone, this is Sly Cooper's 20th anniversary. It already passed back in September, I believe, but it's still nice to reference it on a day like this. So by the time, you know, the next 5-10 years pass by, you know, it'll be dated. But I'm just going to say this right now. I did this game roughly on Sly's 20th anniversary. Mostly. Anyway, also the little electricity coming and hooking between the hook and the base. It's also a nice reference to Sly's electrical base attacks he uses in some of the games. Now, if I can get another thing to trigger so I can, you know, have people to fight. I mean, I could hit the civilians with it, but with civilians, though, you can't use your finishers on the... I mean, you can, but you don't get, like, the special animations. You gotta do it on enemies, like the militia or ice guys. There we go. Yes. Let's see what you think of the cane, boys. Oh, yeah. That's how Sly would do it, indeed. Does this have, Oh, sorry. Alright. But yeah, that's the Cooper cane. Alrighty. Now we have only... I don't have to get on top of this building, but... Now we have only one skin left for the amp. The Caveman Club. Yep. It's just a Unga Bunga club, as I'll call it. Nice electrical bit at the top. Nothing in particular special about this weapon. It's not even a reference to anything. The katana is just strictly a katana, but like I said, retroactively speaking, it can now be considered a reference to the Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, hell, I bet Sucker Punch could have made Ghost on the PS3. it would have just not been visually impressive. Well, not so much as visually impressive, but it probably just wouldn't have a lot of acclaim like it would. But yeah, this club, not a reference to anything. However, Sucker Punch, you might want to make something that could reference and use this club in some way or form. Hey, Sucker Punch, maybe make a new IP. I mean, it's called a Caveman Club. Maybe make an IP, I don't know, sorta based on prehistoric times? Nah. Nah, I'm just kidding. Does anyone want to get unga bunga with my club? Oh, there we go. Get up here so I can club you. Don't you do it. Yeah. That's what I meant about the clipping thing. Alrighty. And yeah, that's it. That's it for the DLC. That said, though, the skins are strictly cosmetic. They offer no real gameplay enhancements or anything, just strictly done for cosmetic purposes. Now, there is another little thing I need to talk of. Right here will... Actually, no. Right here will not do at all. I know a better place where we'll end it. What better place to end it than on the cathedral? So while I make my way to the cathedral, I could talk about this next thing. So, I believe before or after, it doesn't really say for sure. I can even check and see. Hold on. No, it doesn't say. It does not say at all. Well, much like when Infamous 1 had the prequel graphic novel comic, Post Blast, Infamous 2 had a comic series, a mini-series of 6 issues that were meant to bridge the gap between the first and the second game. Now, the comic is actually kind of useful because it actually ties up loose ends that the first game had, because the second game does not really address anything that happened. Doesn't talk about what happened. Because, see, the big ones being is that, as you may remember from my Let's Play of the previous game, one of these things being is that Moya of the NSA, she says she will make life difficult for Cole if he goes back on the deal, which he does. And when you beat the game and get the good ending, Cole does wonder, like, Moya, you know, is still out there and may, you know, be a problem. But that gets addressed in this. It also deals with what happened to Sasha, because Sasha was technically not killed, and it also talks what happened to Alden as well. Part of the story is that Moya was actually working with Kessler on the last stages of the Ray Sphere's development, and that's with that they found a test subject by the name of David Warner. David, as I will show here, oh Jesus. That's, I think, what... Hold on. Yeah. Basically, part of the story is that David is a test subject of the First Sons, and that after being experimented on several times with the Ray Sphere, it mutated and enhanced him severely, and it driven him insane, and therefore he wants revenge on Kessler, obviously. But the big problem is that David needs neuroelectricity to survive. And not to mention, because Kessler and Cole are one of the same, David just simply Cole was Kessler in disguise. Never found out. But that's only part of it, though. That is only just part of it. I mean, like I said, the whole story just goes into detail what happened. I wish I can read it, but unlike with the Post-Blast, these comics were never given digital issues. They are strictly physical copies only. But just to sum up what happened to the other characters, Sasha's fate is ambiguous in the comic, because she helps Cole escape, but that's just it. It doesn't say what happened to her afterwards. At best, if you go with the events of the game here, with the good ending being with what it was, she most likely died after Cole fired off the RFI. For Alden was eventually found and captured by the First Sons and the NSA, and he was experimented on to do more research on conduits. And unfortunately, Alden could not survive any more of the experimentation process, which ended up killing him. And that leaves Moya. Moya ends up sacrificing herself to save Cole as well. This ends up with her dying and drowning on the ship that they're on, but at the very least, she at least somewhat redeemed herself. After the events of the comic, though, this is what leads into the events of Infamous 2, where Quo would contact Cole. Oh, thanks for the achievement. That Quo would contact Cole and bring up John Wolfe, and they would go down to New Marais, starting with Infamous 2 here. Yeah, I know that was a lot to explain and take in, so it's been a long day for me. Well, with that, oh yeah, something I wanted to point out, and this I didn't really know. I always figured that this whole set and Ascension Parish were considered two districts, but I only learned very recently that that this district that I am in does have a name. I referred to it, the whole thing, both this district and Ascension Parish, I've referred to it as the mainland, but really, the whole area is referred to as Vilvia Koshkan? Vil Kohan. It's French. It's, because it's in... because it's just, in South, U.S., around in Louisiana, Missouri, stuff like that. Where is it? Does it say where it's at exactly? Louisiana. It's meant to be based on New Orleans. So, yeah, because it's in Louisiana, it's, it's that Cajun French, really. So, we have that district, Ascension Parish, Floodtown, or at least that's what it's called now. And I did mention how the game acknowledges that this part was struck by a hurricane back in 2004. That references Hurricane Katrina, which, again, I remember when the news of that happened long, long ago. And this is the Gasworks. Righty, well, that's it. I think that's all I can say and explain with Infamous 2. For me to give my final thoughts, basically, like I said, it definitely did a lot better with the story and lots of the additional stuff here. Though, like I said, you only learn additional things though, depending on which path you're on, because when you when I was doing the Evil Karma storyline and I was showing that off to all of you, we learned additional details of things, like how because of the loss of Nyx's family is what really like driven her the way she is. And then there's also the fact that, just and when we did the final mission, just how like everything that led up to that. Overall, Infamous 2 is a lot improved compared to the first game. Not saying that the first game is terrible. I mean, it definitely shows its age, especially in this day and age, but it's still a good entry. But 2, most of the time, sequels will always improve. Sequels will always improve on things. So, with that, as we all know, every 12 games I do on my channel, I take a break. I take a long break from recording. And Infamous 2 is now complete and is part of that long break of things. Here's where this will be different, though, is that I take anywhere from 4 to 6 months usually, but this time, though, I'm going to need 8 months, if not maybe a year, of no recording, mostly to practice for the next 12 games, because some of these next 12 games I'm going to be doing, they're going to be really long. I think there will be one game in particular that might actually, depending on what happens, it might actually end up becoming the longest game on my channel. Possibly, but we'll see. For the longest time, Legend of Dragoon has always been the longest Let's Play I've done, but there's a game that we'll be doing eventually that will outdo that. But we'll see for sure. So because of that, I can only ask for your patience and understanding while I take this long time off for me to practice for the next several games that we'll be doing. I will say, though, I will be streaming. I've been trying to get back into the streaming game on Twitch, so always try to drop by on the Twitch channel if you're already, following or not, and just, give me a watch. Give me a watch or two. Maybe I might be able to make my Twitch channel into something better. So, that's all I could say. To any of you who have been subbed to me since the beginning or for quite a while, as always, just be patient and knowing that these next 12 games we'll do, they'll be interesting. And to anyone who has just recently subbed, take a look at some of my older content. Yeah, it's aged, and not a lot of content creators are proud of their earlier stuff, but you get to see the history of how I evolved over time. What a better way to end it than just to do that. That is it. And I will see you guys later.